Interesting TCM and Acupuncture. Part 4. Discussion on the subject of the organ characteristics of TCM. The study of organ characteristics is the study of the inherent meaning of the subject of internal manifestations of the body, including the forms of the organs and viscera, physiological function, pathological change in regard to essence, qi, blood, and fluid, their relationships and their ultimate effect on organs and the physical parts of the human body, as well as their overall relationships with humans living in society. This study is the means by which Chinese medicine establishes a system by which to understand the overall nature of pathology as it applies to humans. It is also how Chinese medicine understands physiological body systems in general. This study is essential to the study of prevention, stopping illness, curing disease, and recovery. Contents. Concept of organ characteristics. The development of organ characteristics. Unique characteristics of the study of organ characteristics. The 5 organs and 6 viscera and extraordinary viscera special characteristics. The systemic thought of the 5 organs Jing, Qi, Yin and Yang concept. Basic concept of the study of organ characteristics. The study of organ characteristics is the study of the physical condition of the body and pathological characteristics, and is the basic curriculum of Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine originally used anatomical observation to locate the organs and understand their functions. It's also added the logic of Chinese philosophy to form a complete method of interrogation of the organs and how they operate within the context of a living body. In total, this study includes the study of the essential qi contained in the organs, the movement of substances and metabolism in order to explain the functions of the organs. As a result, the organs and viscera of Chinese medicine are not only the anatomical structures revealed by anatomy, but also serve as the essence of the study of human morphology and bestow us with special means by which to obtain efficacy in the study of physiology and pathology. Part 1. The basic concept of organ characteristics. Organ characteristics have over the years been changed to reflect the evolution of Chinese language. And although it's difficult for non-Chinese speakers to understand the original character used to describe organs, pronounced zang in phonetic Chinese, it means to store and hide, while newer characters, also pronounced zang, refers specifically to the yin and yang organs of the human body. Regardless of which character we choose to use, the essential meaning of the term refers to the organs contained within the body and how they reflect physiological and pathological changes visible on the surface of the body, as well as how the health of both inner body and surface may change according to changes in the natural environment. 2 words, organ characteristics, which may be directly translated as hidden images, was discussed first in the Simple Questions chapter, discussion of the 6 attachments of hidden images. It says, the emperor asked, what are the hidden images? The elder Qi replied, the heart is the origin of the birth of the body. It's the residence of the spirit. It shows itself in the complexion. It fills the blood vessels with. Within yang, it's considered the greater yang aspect. It connects to the qi of summer. It can be seen in the above text that in the internal classics, the concept of the organ characteristics describes the body and its physiological characteristics, and combines this understanding to discuss how the organs and viscera interact with physiological changes, the emotions, the part of our bodies, and the natural world. The term zang presented above has the specific meaning in medicine of the organs contained within the human body, including the 5 organs of heart, liver, spleen, lung, and kidneys, as well as the 6 visceral organs of gallbladder, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, bladder, triple energizer, and the special organs of the brain, marrow, bone, vessels, gallbladder, and womb. This term zang also means the inner aspect of each of the 5 organs and their specific functions and properties. The term characteristics can also be defined as image and refers to the 5 unique physiological expressions of the organs and their interactions. There are 2 hidden aspects of this word. 1, it reflects the expression of physiology and illness. For instance, according to the Simple Questions, the expression of time and organ qi chapter, when the liver is ill, the 2 sides become painful and pull toward the lower abdomen. This causes people to become easily annoyed. 2. It refers to the internal organs and viscera as having 5 unique physiological features, and how disease can be understood by their relationships with the elements of the outside world. An example of such a connection is how the qi of the heart is energetically connected to the summer. The true discussion of the golden cabinet of simple questions says, the south is red in color and it enters and connects with the heart. Traditional Chinese medicine observes and inspects the outer appearance in order to better understand the nature of organ activity in the body, recognize the nature of the organs, and arrive at the level of observing the outer manifestations to know the inner organs. In general terms, any outer expression has its own internal manifestation in the body. So any manifestation in the natural world which comes into contact with a living person will certainly have an impact on the function of the internal organs. Organ characteristics combine the physical frame with the image of the organ's energy in an organic whole, and represents the Chinese medicine approach to studying the body and its functions in order to come to an understanding of all humanity's complex life processes. Zang here does not mean exactly the same thing as a physical organ. Zang is a unique concept in TCM thought. Chinese medicine theory holds that it is possible to understand the entire body through observation in order to get an image of its inner workings. In this sense, Zang presentation tells us about the physical character of a person, as well as their physiological health, and makes it possible to have a unilateral understanding of the body and the physical processes contained therein. For instance, the heart is shaped like a lotus stamen, is a way of explaining the physical shape, while the heart commands blood and vessels explains its function. There is no question that dissection was used to discover these features. Considering ideas like the heart commands the spirit and will is a functional concept that involves an overall view of the human being, so the idea of zang or containment is not only based on anatomical ideas, but more importantly, it reflects physiology, pathology, and a perspective of utility. The form of organs in Western medicine is principally concerned with physical structure. From the perspective of TCM, organs such as the heart, liver, spleen, lung, kidneys, intestines, gallbladder, pancreas, bladder, and womb represent the inner aspect, while the eyes, ears, nose, and so on represent the perceptual aspect. Thus, from the perspective of ideas, if we compare the functions of the organs with the concept of the zang, which can mean containment, hidden features, and internal structures, we can see that although the basic concept is similar, the functions and capacities indicated are radically different. Number 2, development of the study of organ characteristics. The study of organ characteristics was first fully explained in the Internal Classic. The essentials of this study can be explained mainly as follows. 1. People in ancient times were aware of dissection. 2. They observed living humans over many years. 3. Ancient philosophy was considered in the formulation of theory. 4. There was sufficient medical experience to be able to understand the framework of their use in medicine. Below we will discuss in more detail. It's fairly clear that in order to understand the physical shape of the organs, the ancients must have practiced dissection. And it's also clear that they must have carried out considerable observation of body functions in order to come to their conclusions about the functions of the organs. During the Warring States period, the ancients certainly had some understanding of the shape of the organs, and they used this in their medical practice. This is evidenced by the Book of History, Shiji, which records how the famous physician Yu Fujie was able to cut the stomachs of patients to treat their illnesses. And he cut the skin and separated the muscles, moved the vessels and sinews, held the marrow, washed the intestine and stomach, and cleaned the 5 organs. This clearly illustrates that at this time in history, there was a complete understanding of anatomical dissection. Internal Classic understood dissection in an even clearer way. The spiritual pivot chapter of Jing Shui says, if somebody's dead, you may dissect the body and observe within the degree of firmness or brittleness of the organs, the large or small of the viscera, the excess or lack of nutrition, the shortness or length of the vessels, the clarity or murkiness of the blood. These things can be found in great numbers. The spiritual pivot intestine and stomach chapter reads, the throat gate passes to the stomach and is 1 chi and 6 tun in length. The stomach is curved, but when it's made straight, it is 2 chi and 6 tun. If it is 1 chi and 5 tun large and is 5 tun deep, It can contain 3 dou and 5 sheng. The intestine and stomach are for a total length of 6 jiang, 4 cun, and 4 fen. It should be noted the Chinese words cun, fen, jiang, sheng, and so on are all ancient measurement words. Classic of difficulties made it even more clear about the shape, weight, color, and so on of the organs and viscera. This text said, the intestine and stomach are 5 zheng, 8 shi, and 4 cun in length, and the kidney is 2 mei. The gallbladder and liver are in the space of a small leaf. They weigh 3 liang and 3/24 of a tael. They hold 3 he of essence, and so on. It also discusses the 7 flushing gates. From the lips to the anus, there are 7 principal organs which control digestion and elimination. Chinese medicine holds that people's bodies can be understood through certain relatively simple understandings of the function of the organs and viscera, such as that the heart commands blood, the lung commands the breath, the stomach is the ocean of water and grains, the large intestine transforms the dregs of food, and so on. These all describe physical characteristics in their basic sense. Very difficult to accurately describe the total complexity of the inner body. Due to this, the ancients used the strategy of all things which occur inside may be observed on the outer form, and observe its outer manifestations to know the inner organs, as well as observe the image to make a differential analysis. To describe the functions of the organs and viscera, they observed the entire body in order to find out its health, and separated the different climactic presentations of the body to understand their response to pathological conditions. They used this to establish their physiology and pathology rules of practice, and in so doing, developed the basic structure of the study of the characteristics of organs. For instance, in knowing that the lungs control breathing, they found out that when the body is cold, the nose becomes stuffed easily, and people sneeze and cough. So in this way, they came to the conclusion that the lungs control the pores and they open in the nostrils, which they used to advance their theory. They knew that the spleen and stomach controlled the digestion of grains, and discovered that if one only ate once every few days, that nutrition would be insufficient. So they went on to use this to describe wasting disease, in which the 4 limbs become weak, and there are other similar presentations. From this, they came to the conclusion that the spleen controls the 4 limbs and muscles and flesh. They also, when they're happy, their heart and chest become comfortable. When they become angry, their faces and eyes turn red. When they think too much, they lose their appetite, and much more. All of these things gradually pushed the theory of Chinese medicine-organ relationships forward. Jing and Qi, Yin and Yang, the 5 elements and so on, represent the achievements of ancient Chinese philosophy, and they have had a major impact on the overall structure of organ characteristics theory. Ancient philosophy had a major impact on the study of organ characteristics. Essence, or Jing, was considered to be the universe's mechanism for creating the living beings of the world. Chinese medicine used the idea of essence to describe the physical building blocks of the organs and viscera, the physical body and its various parts. Its major use was found in the idea that qi is without a physical form and moves at all times without rest, which moves in the body and harmonizes with the entire life mechanism. Thus, every organ and viscera must be made to be in harmony with one another. Yin and Yang Theory was placed into the study of Chinese medicine and used to explain the locations of different parts of the body, their utility, and other aspects of their study. In the theory of organ characteristics, the organs and viscera are separated into yin and yang. Jing and qi are also separated into yin and yang. In later years, people came up with the idea that Jing transforms into qi, and that qi can separate into either yin or yang characteristics. The theory of the 5 organs, Jing, qi, yin, and yang, sets up the model to explain the organ characteristics theory and is vital for differential analysis and a clinical effect on the progression and development of the concept of the organ characteristics of theory of TCM. The five elements organ characteristics system uses the ancient TCM concept of the five elements in order to explain the movement and relationship between the organs and establish a model in which the five organs may serve as the center of the entire system of study. This explains the complexity of changes that occur within the five systems. Each system uses the concept of the five organs by connecting each organ with one or more of the six viscera, 5 orifices, 9 orifices, the types of tissue, and 5 spirits. This for the explanation of the entire function of the human body to be continued within one operational principle, and for the body and mind to be seen as one. This explains the functions and systems of the inner body in comparison to the features of nature, such as the 5 directions, 5 times, 5 chi, 5 transformations, 5 colors, 5 tastes, and much more. This allows for the human body to be seen as one with the natural environment. The 5-element organ characteristics system build up the ability for TCM to explain and model the overall nature of the organs and viscera, showing how they function within a complex system. As such, the heart and small intestines share the relationship of inner and outer. The lung and large intestine, liver and gallbladder, and spleen and stomach also share this yang and yin, inner and outer relationship with the Zang organs, being contained on the outer or inner aspect as compared to the relatively more outwardly oriented Fu viscera. Side experience has been collected in great quantities for a long time and can transform the nature of a theory. With enough success in treatment, it's possible to get a better understanding of the physiological and pathological nature of the organs, and we can create a complex and complete theory of the characteristics of the organs. If eating the liver of certain animals can cure night blindness, then this can be discovered through frequent application, and we might develop the knowledge that we can tonify the organs. Thus, we may also come to the conclusion that the liver opens the eyes, and further verify ideas that the blood and qi makes up people's spirits. We may find that nurturing the blood quiets the spirit, and we may be able to use this to treat heart palpitations, insomnia, and many more diseases affecting the mind. From this, we may find out that the heart controls the spirit and will. Much the same, through clinical experience, we can discover ways to further guide theory in order to revise and amend past errors. For instance, the relationship between the organs uses the 5 elements to discuss their interactions. Fire creates earth, which means that heart fire warms the earth of the spleen. However, from the Mingmen acupoint, we've discovered that the spleen may also be warmed from that point on the back of the body. As such, it was discovered through clinical practice that the kidneys contain yang energy, which could be used to boost the spleen and give people a wide range of medical benefits. To summarize, the study of organ characteristics is a long-term development which came out of ancient Chinese medicine and practical experience. It took roots with ancient dissection in order to discover the form and function of the organs. Then, with this level of ability, doctors went on to learn to observe the outside to understand the inner, and use the image to understand phenomenon as their key method of observation. 3. Unique features of organ characteristics study. Organ characteristics theory's specialization is in its understanding of the 5 Zang organs as the central pivot around which the human body operates. There are 2 key aspects which help us to understand how the 5 organs serve as the operational center of the body and how they interact with nature. Organ characteristics theory holds that people's bodies are extremely complex and organic whole. Each part of the body cannot be separated and understood independently from the other. Their functions all work together to create a connection governed by circulation, and pathogenic change in the body changes this system. Organ characteristics theory holds that the 5 organs are the center of this system and that they're connected by the meridians and collaterals. It is said the inner aspect of Zang and Fu organs, the outer is connection of the 4 limbs and their joints. This explains the 6 viscera, 5 types of tissue, 5 orifices, 9 orifices, 4 limbs, and entire skeleton, and how the organs and viscera relate to the body and its various offices and orifices. All of these form a complete and entire body system of complex relationships. 5 organs represent the body's physiological mechanism and the structure that contains 5 unique operational systems, which are as follows. The liver system includes the liver, gallbladder, sinews, eyes, and nails. The heart system includes the heart, small intestine, vessels, and face. The spleen system includes the spleen, stomach, flesh, mouth, and lips. The lung system includes the lungs, large intestine, skin, nose, and pores. The kidney system includes the kidney, bladder, bones, and marrow, ears, and hair. These 5 systems do not operate alone. They connect to one another via the meridians and collaterals, and the harmony of blood and chi as they pass through the entire body. The 5 organs' ability to adjust the body work in unison and combine with the entire body to allow for smooth operations. The 5 organs are: the heart is the emperor, and the 5 organs and the 6 viscera. This aside, the 5 organs' physiological functions has a profound relationship with the essence, spirit, and emotion. Chinese medicine holds that the study of organ characteristics shows people's vital energy and how it affects the function of the entire life system, and all of this has a profound and deep relationship with the 5. People's vitality causes the intertransformation of energy of the 5 organs and allows for their mutual nurturing. The Spiritual Pivot Original Spirit chapter says, the liver contains blood. The blood houses the yang soul. The spirit contains nutritive energy. Nutritive energy contains the mind. The heart contains the vessels. The vessels house the spirit. The lungs contain qi. The qi contains the yin soul. The kidneys contain the essence. The essence houses the will. Further consider how the Simple Questions chapter on clarifying the 5 energies explains vitality and the activities of perception and thought from the perspective of the 5 organs. It says, the heart contains the spirit, lungs contain the yin soul, the liver contains the yang soul, the spleen contains the mind, and the kidneys contain the will. The activities of the emotions are formed by the vital essence of the 5 organs. The simple question discussion of the echoes of yin and yang says, people have 5 organs which transform into 5 types of qi. They give rise to joy, anger, overthinking, grief, and fear. Consider how emotional activity may use the 5 organs to explain how the emotion of the heart is joy, the emotion of the liver is anger, the emotion of the spleen is thought, the emotion of the lung is worry, the emotion of the kidneys is fear, and how if the emotions go beyond their normal limits, they injure the essence and qi, such as when anger damages the liver, joy damages the heart, thought damages the spleen, worry damages the lung, and fear damages the kidneys. The human body is one whole and always behaves as a system within the world around it. All people are contained within their own natural environs. People's lives are predicated on the rules set out for them by the reality of the world. Because of this, we are always affected by the world, and we must operate in accord with the movements of the natural environment. The Spiritual Pivot chapter, Revealing the Generations, says, people exist unified with heaven and earth. They comply with the movements of sun and moon. This explains that people's bodies are connected to the world in one system, which can be understood through research. This strongly states the case for the idea that our environs and our inner bodies are of one nature. There are 2 major factors within the study of organ characteristics that come into play here. Organ characteristics study holds that the natural world is composed of 5 times, 5 energies, 5 transformations, and so on, and that the 5 major operational systems all form the inner and outer operations of the body and environment. In understanding the seasons of the year, it's said, the 5 organs listen to the 4 times, and each obtains its energy from this. The energy of the 5 organs in 5 times mutually affect one another. For instance, the heart is connected to the qi of summer, the lung is connected to the qi of fall, the kidney is connected to the qi of winter, the liver is connected to the qi of spring, and the spleen is connected to the qi of earth. The Simple Questions chapter 6 Connections Hidden Image says, follow the warm qi of spring and nurture your liver. Follow the hot qi of summer and nurture your heart. Follow the late summer qi and nurture your spleen. Follow the dry qi of fall and nurture your lung. Follow the cold qi of winter and nurture your kidney. This is the rule of nurturing life. 5 organs have the characteristics of empty and full, strong and weak, and changes in the 4 times and express them on a profound level of understanding. For instance, in the spring, the liver qi is expansive. In the winter, the kidney qi is expansive. Consider how many liver illnesses form in spring and how many people become sick with kidney illnesses in the winter. From the perspective of nurturing health, we must follow the 4 times and nurture ourselves through lifestyle, using medicine when appropriate. In spring, we must dredge the liver qi. In winter, we should benefit the Jiang essence in the spleen and close off the outside, sealing it in the body. A different view is that we should follow the principle of creation and control of the five-element system. For instance, if the lung is weak in the spring, it's relatively strong in late summer. In winter, it's very active. So we can see that illness dynamics change over time. The Simple Questions Organ, Qi, and Time Method chapter says, if the illness is in the lung, it will improve in the winter. But if it does not improve in the winter, it'll become deeper in the summer. If one does not die in the summer, they may maintain themselves until late summer. From the perspective of geographical location, the study of organ characteristics have the special quality of the five elements and five organs. For instance, the east represents wood and controls birth. This summarizes the energy of the liver. The south represents fire and controls growth. It is connected to the qi of the heart, and so on. This type of conceptualization has definite implications on the study of science. If geographical locations are different, the manifestations of time, water, earth, food, drink, habits, and many other things will be different. People also have all different levels of physical strength and weakness, and their bodies express illness differently. Consider how the south of China is hot and damp. People's interstitial fluid will therefore be relatively relaxed. In the north, it's dry and cold, so people's interstitial fluid is sealed more tightly in their bodies. We can use this systematic observation and differential thought, like the ancient philosophers who said, emphasize the nature of things rather than their external manifestations, and emphasize that which is insubstantial rather than that which is substantial. This way of thinking is profound in its effect. Chinese medicine's organ characteristics study begins from the observation of function of external image to explain the function of the internal organs and viscera. As a result, using science to study this will require a deep understanding of core principles and requires sufficient clinical experience and development. 4. The physiological characteristics of the five organs, six viscera, and special organs. The organs and viscera are categorized as containment organs, movement viscera, and specialized organs. The containment organs are the five organs of heart, spleen, liver, kidney, and lung. The pericardium is also included in this list. The movement viscera are the gallbladder, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, bladder, and triple energizer. The special organs are the brain, marrow, bones, vessels, gallbladder, and womb. Chinese medicine holds that the physiological functions of all of these things are different and that they find their differences in the relationship between the zang and fu and viscera organs. The five organs' physiological function is in the transformation and generation of essence and qi in the organs. The six viscera serve to move water and grains. The Simple Questions, Five Organs Differentiation talk says, the five organs contain jing qi and do not leak. They're full and do not engage. The six viscera move material and do not contain things within. They move and cannot be filled. A simple understanding of this is that the five organs and six viscera each have their own special physiological function. To further clarify, full and do not move and do not fill is a way of explaining how jing and qi of the organs protects them and maintains their fullness, but also dissipate and dredge. The six viscera respond to water and grains in food-based nutrition. They also absorb and transform food entering the body. That maintaining emptiness and movement, they do not liken to become full. Wang Bing in his Tang Dynasty Notes on the Internal Classic said, Jing qi is full, water and grains move. The five organs contain jing qi, and they're full and do not move. The six viscera do not contain jing qi, and they absorb water and grain. Thus they move and do not become full. The special organs are formed in a similar way to the six viscera, but they contain jing qi in a similar way to the five organs. Nonetheless, they're quite different from either set of organs and viscera. Consider how the Simple Questions chapter of the Five Organs Differential discussion says, the brain, marrow, bones, vessel, gallbladder, and womb. These six are born up of the earth. They contain yin and are the image of the earth. They contain and do not leak, thus they're called specialized viscera. The five organs and six viscera's physiological function is important to the differential diagnosis and provide us with guidance as clinicians. Usually it's said that the principle of illness is found when the zang organs become empty or the fu organs become full. To treat this, we say to tonify the five organs and drain the six viscera. Part 5, the systematic thought of the five organs, Jing, Qi, Yin, and Yang concept. The five elements Jing, Qi, Yin, and Yang concept researches the body's essential Qi and Yin and Yang. as well as its physiological capacities, pathogenic changes, and systems relationships. This is Chinese medicine's organ characteristic theory's important system, and also the model upon which the physiology and pathogenesis of the organs is understood. Each organ of the body has its own specific function, and we can observe its form in order to understand it. However, it's required that we understand the function of each organ's Jing and Qi, and relative degree of Yin and Yang. Each organ's essence interacts with its qi, and this is what decides the capacity of the physiological function of the body. This means that there's an important difference between ancient Chinese philosophical conceptions of essence and qi with the theory of Chinese medicine. 5-organ essence. The essence of the 5 organs is first explained in the Simple Questions chapter of the highest antiquity discussion of heavenly truth, which says, the 5 organs and 6 visceras, Jing. This refers to the essence of the organs and means that each of the 5 organs gets its central nourishment and moistening capacity from this essence. This moistening capacity comes from the original organ and travels to the 6 viscera to the whole body, all of its orifices and so on, forming the fluid composition of the body. This includes prenatal essence bestowed on us at conception and postnatal essence, nutritive essence. The prenatal essence and postnatal nutritional essence form the essence of the whole body. The essence of the whole body is contained in the 5 organs. The essence of the 5 organs nourishes the blood and moistens the insides. The 5 organs extend this to the 6 viscera and the entire body, and all of its orifices and all of its offices and orifices. Thus, we should mainly concern ourselves with the essential function of nourishment and nurturing that the essence of the 5 organs provides to the broader functioning of our physiology. The essence of the 5 organs is contained in different ways. For instance, the essence of the heart and the essence of the liver both share in heart blood. The liver blood can enter the body and be contained in the heart within the liver. This is why in the Simple Questions chapter on differentiating channels and meridians, it says, turbid qi returns to the heart. Dirty essence is in the vessels. Food qi is in the stomach. Scattered essence is in the liver. The lungs contain the essence of the lungs. The lung essence assists in the transport function of the spleen, and the water and grain essence may move to the lung. Thus, the lung qi has a tendency to move down and up to the head to the orifices to exit, and this transfers essence to the follicles. Spleen contains essence, which is called spleen essence. The spleen essence gives the spleen its ability to engage in its activities. Because of eating the essence of water and grains, it causes the spleen to have a need to transport and transform them. The spleen Jing is able to move and absorb the essence of water and grains, and the spleen channel connects to the 4 limbs, transforming the essence of the organs. It's said that spleen qi scatters the essence and moves up to meet the lung. The kidneys store kidney Jing. Kidney Jing is obtained at conception from both parents and assisted by nutritional essence to nurture the body. Qi of the 5 organs. The qi of the 5 organs is first discussed in the Simple Questions chapter called the Discussion of the Method of Qi and Time, which says that the zang qi is contained in the 5 organs and has no shape, but moves without stop and can adjust the organs and viscera and their physiological capabilities. Prenatal and postnatal essence transforms into qi and is also added to the clear qi brought into the lungs through breathing. In the spleen, lung, kidney, and so on, all of this qi gathers and transforms the entire energy of the body. The entire energy of the body is separated among the 5 organs and is called the qi of the 5 organs. Zang qi can be said to be transformed energy of the essence of the 5 organs, making it more subtle, so it's able to perform endless circulation in the body. It can also be said that the qi of the entire body consists of different distributions and uses, which come from the 5 organs and have different physiological functions in the body. Because of this, the 5 organs qi is believed to be from a common source, and also has the characteristics which differentiate the qi of each organ from one another. The 5 organs qi adjust the function of each organ. For instance, the heart qi adjusts the movement of the heart such that the blood can extend and the vitality and spirit can transform. The lung qi harmonizes to control the lung, descending movement, harmonizing its fluid. The liver qi adjusts the liver, dredging function, allowing the adjustment of blood and fluids in their movement, making it possible to digest food and drink. The emotions of the heart are also affected by this system. The spleen qi controls the movement of water and grains and harmonizes the movement of transportation of water and fluids. The blood is created and harmonized by this movement. The kidney qi controls the growth of the body and its capacity for regeneration. It controls fluid and metabolism, as well as assisting in the absorbing of qi of the breath of the 5 organs. Qi is essentially used to explain the function of the 5 organs when they're operating in their normal capacity. The yin of the 5 organs is also called zang yin and is cooling and moisturizing in its nature. It causes aggregation of stillness, inhibition, and so on. The yang of the 5 organs is also called zang yang and is the warming capacity of the 5 organs. It causes excitement and similar activities. When the 5 organs yin meets the 5 organs yang and make up one aspect of the qi of the 5 organs, when the two are properly adjusted and harmonious, the qi of the 5 organs will smoothly flow and connect to the entire body. When each is appropriately expressed, it will have a different function. When the yin of the 5 organs is in decline, the cooling and moistening and supportive functions will also decline. This will cause heat to be generated and illness to arise. When the 5 organs yang is in decline, it will cause the body to lose its heating function, and thus the body will become cold and illness will appear. The 5 organs of yin or yang in decline is the means by which qi vacuity presents itself. The treatment of the 5 organs yin vacuity and 5 elements yang vacuity uses the principles in a yin disease, use yang, and in a yang disease, use yin. It's also possible to nourish the deficient qi. 5 organs essence and qi, yin and yang, have the relationship of making up the entire essence, energy, and yin and yang of the human body. The 5 organs contain essence. After receiving the prenatal essence from our parents, we take essence from the nutrition of the postnatal state, and those two things mix together in one body to form all of our essence. Some is stored in the 5 organs, and it's called the essence of the 5 organs. The pre-celestial essence is mostly in the kidneys, which are the root of human life. Thus, the kidneys are called the root of the pre-celestial. The kidney channel is mainly involved in controlling the prenatal essence. Therefore, it's the most important aspect of our organ essence. The refined essence becomes qi. The jing of the entire body transforms into qi in the lung. When we breathe in fresh air and it mixes together with the one qi of the body. The one qi of the body is separated into 5 organs and forms the 5 organ qi. Because of this, each organ's essence is the essence of the one body and makes up one part of the energy of each organ of the body. The 5 organs essence transforms into qi in the organ, and the qi of the 5 organs carries out the work of the essence. The 5 organs essence is valuable and hidden within the 5 organs, not being allowed to leak. The 5 organs qi is valued by the body and circulates all around it without becoming chaotic. The 5 organs qi can flourish or decline and decides whether the 5 organs essence is in surplus or deficiency. The 5 organs essence has the following relationship with the 5 organs qi, as is described within the use of yin and yang in the simple questions, yin and yang echoing image chapter. Yin is internal, yang protects the outside. Yang is external, yin supports it. In order to adjust and tonify the 5 organs qi when it becomes deficient, we can tonify and nurture the essence of the 5 organs so that it transforms and becomes qi. We can also warm and nurture the qi of the 5 organs directly. Simple questions yin and yang echoing image says, those who do not exercise enough should have their qi made warm. The prenatal essence of the kidneys transforms qi in the kidney meridian, and this is prenatal qi. We can also call this original qi. This is why the kidneys are so important in the 5 organs. The qi is separated into yin and yang. Following the ancient philosophers' conceptions of yin and yang, the one qi of the body is made up of the 2 qi of yin and yang. This transforms and becomes the qi of the 5 organs, which also has its own unique yin and yang differentiation. The 5 organs yin qi is the cooling and lubricating qi which promotes stillness and submission. The 5 organs yang qi is the qi which warms and promotes movement and excitement. In normal situations, the 5 organ yin and yang qi will hold on to each other naturally and adjust one another. In this case, the 5 organs qi will flood the body and properly carry out its activities. For instance, the lungs have yin and yang. The yang promotes warming and moving, while the yin of the lungs promotes cooling and lubrication, as well as sinking. The lung qi and lung yang mutually adjust with one another. Thus, their capacity for movement and descent are achieved simultaneously. In this case, the breath is even. If the yin and yang qi is lost in the organs, they'll become unbalanced, and in this case, they will fall into disorder and manifest symptoms of cold and hot. Typically, it's thought that the kidney qi is a mix of yin and yang, and that the kidney yang is the origin of all the yang in the body. If the yin qi and yang qi in the body are in deficit, with enough time, the kidneys yin and yang will become exhausted. This is called lung diseases and in the kidneys. Following the principles of Chinese medicine, the clinical experience, we can be sure of the principles of the yin and yang of the 5 organs and further understand their essence and qi and the principal differences between them. We can use this to set up our understanding of their complex relationships. The 5 organs Jing transforms to qi, and the 5 organs qi is divided into yin and yang. It is most important to always be clear about this, and it's vital to clinical treatment of diseases of the organs, and our differentiation and treatment methods. This will help us to understand how differentiations such as vacuity really work in the body and guide our treatment protocol. The study of organ characteristics combines TCM anatomy, physiology, and pathology together in one discipline. This was originally created in ancient times and was at first somewhat simple and crude, coming from early dissection. Eventually, it transformed into the study of observing the outside to know the inside. It incorporated ancient philosophy in the development of its unique visual character and underwent many years of research and clinical experience, eventually rising to the level of a robust theory. This is how the study of the organs and viscera gradually took form in Chinese medicine and went on to become the model for all practice. Dissection, physiology, and pathology are the model for organ characteristic study, and they're used to explain how the entire body functions and interacts with the world around it. This led to the development of the 5 organs, 6 viscera, special organs, and their study characteristics. This model places the Zang and Fu organs in the center and uses the inner organs to explain the surface of the body. The inner organs express themselves in the orifices and offices of the body, and they are further elaborated on by the use of yin and yang and the 5 elements from Chinese philosophy. They are connected by their meridians and collaterals to the whole body and allow for the movement and transformation of essence and qi, giving the body its living energy. The 5 organs, essence, qi, yin, and yang, are drawn in and cause the entire body to conduct its activities. This allows for Chinese medicine to operate in 4 domains or more, and has allowed for an entire theory of physiology and pathology to emerge, which behaves much in the same way as 3D imaging. The essence and qi of the 5 organs are the way in which our bodies are connected, and they allow for all of the movement and transformation of the body. This qi is able to control the functions of the movement of the upper and lower body and connects the entire body in metabolic movement. Because we have essence blood, the whole body is connected, and the nourishment received from the organs goes to the 4 extremities. In the same way, a car cannot function without oil. We must recognize that in order for our bodies to function, we have to have enough energy in the body for it to perform its functions. Now, we ought to know that the philosophy of the ancients used differential analysis to develop their understanding of the internal organs, and that this was done through the analysis of dissection and pathology, and was used to explain the one-body approach of Chinese medicine. Ancient philosophy believed that prizing the nature of a situation rather than the individual expression of a phenomenon, and placed the emphasis on the insubstantial and not the substantial. In today's world, we've developed the technology which allows us to open up our phones and enter into the underground laboratory of the deep forest hermits. We can all use this ancient knowledge to help us see things which were previously invisible, and to help us really help our lives. 2,000 years ago, the experts of their time deeply looked into the processes of life and discovered its central nature. They did not imagine the future developments of Western anatomical medicine, but they were already enlightened to the possibilities. They used ancient philosophy and ideas of taking the insubstantial seriously while devaluing the substantial to help them build their science. From the outside, this appears to be a form of mystical study, but in practicality, it's survived for so many generations that it's gone on to form the basis of Chinese medicine. It was informed by anatomy, physiology, and pathology, and showed how the human body is innately connected with the environs of the outside world. It established the model of organ characteristics and became the Eastern art of Chinese medicine. It survived until today and has great power. We must be very thankful to the experts of the past who shared their wisdom so many thousands of years ago. We are thankful to the carriers of this knowledge who passed it down for thousands of years. So Chinese medicine is not only a science, it's also a form of cultural study which may transcend the generations. Since the development of the novel coronavirus in 2020, Chinese medicine has shown its ability even when no other treatment was available. Chinese medicine saved the day in providing techniques which assisted in the recovery of many people. It was used in Wuhan both alongside Western medicine and by itself, and dramatically reduced the number of deaths. Coronaviruses wreaked havoc upon the world, and this is a great opportunity for Chinese medicine. We're thankful for this eternal way of using the holistic view to understand the body and its unique method of research. We're thankful to all of the clinicians over the past several thousand years who've pushed Chinese medicine forward. Now, in every country, the several thousand-year progression of Chinese medicine is entering a new era and can occupy its rightful place on the mountain peak of medicine next to Western medicine. Two waters coming from different sources. Its root in clinical experience is profound. On May 25th, 2019, in the 72nd Summit of the World Health Organization, Chinese medicine was declared to be a medical treatment worthy of promotion and was officially promoted as a standard for the whole world to learn from. The ICD report in which this was contained already has 100 years of history and has been released 10 times in total. It said that Chinese medicine would be inducted and should be applied internationally for the protection of the health of all people around the world. At the same time, Chinese medicine has increased in popularity in China as a result of this ruling. In 2022, the World Health Organization will gradually promote Chinese medicine to the whole world, and it will gradually be seen as a complete medical study capable of carrying out more than just rehabilitative functions. Novel coronavirus has poisoned the whole world and caused many problems for every country. But the good news is that the efficacy of Chinese medicine has been noticed by the WHO, and they've officially proclaimed that herbal medicines are now recommended in the fight against illness. Because of this success, we expect to see Chinese medicine develop faster and faster around the world. We're also so thankful to the past philosophers and their wisdom. We're thankful to the thousands of years of Chinese medicine transmission and to occupy our peak next to Western medicine as two waters which run down. Therefore, Chinese medicine is not only a science, it's also a timeless aspect of the nature of the sciences. Chinese medicine is not only a science, it's a form of self-cultivation. Thank you very much for watching.